MPOC Chairman, Dato' Lee Yo Chow, distinguished guests, Nazrin, ladies and gentlemen, participants of Palm Oil Industry Leadership Forums. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. It is indeed my great pleasure to join you all today. Thanks to MPOC for making this forum. Okay, just now Mr. Sugianto mentioned about LC discounting, LC negotiations, and without any slides. So in my presentation here, I will provide the flow and the slide, what does Mr. Sugianto mention just now. But before that, I will start, because this topic, today's topic is more on the promoting Renminbi trade transaction. So basically, I agree with Mr. Sugianto just now that most of the exporters in Malaysia will have a problem when it comes to the LC discounting, LC issued from China in Renminbi. So before that, I will start with my presentation with these slides, information from SWIFT about the Renminbi payment and currency. From the latest SWIFT latest Renminbi tracker, it shows that positive growth for Renminbi cross-border payments in value compared to July 2014 in several major markets in Asia with China and Hong Kong. The Renminbi has become Asia's most active currency for payments to China and Hong Kong. Yeah, it clearly shows that. And in July 2015, the Renminbi beat the Canadian and Australian dollar to the rank as the world's 5th biggest payment currency. But its global market share remained small compared with the US dollar. The next slide shows the Renminbi adoption. International, this data is coming from SWIFT, which is showing the flows of transactions sent and received directly with China and Hong Kong from January 2015 to July 2015. So the Renminbi adoption by South Korea and Taiwan for payment with China and Hong Kong increased to 84% and 80% respectively for all payment across currencies. And adoption rate by Australia and Malaysia has progressed well to 18% and 15% respectively. And in Japan, the RMB usage in Japan and India with China and Hong Kong remains marginal. So that's why SWIFT categorized seven countries into three, basically segregation. For India and Japan, it goes under marginal adoptions. Malaysia and Australia, emerging adoption. Singapore, Taiwan, and South Korea, strong adoptions. So the main why Singapore, Taiwan, and South Korea has this increase on the Renminbi usage is due to the appointment of clearing centers in Taipei, Singapore, Seoul, and recently Sydney and Kuala Lumpur. It promotes the use of currency for global trade across the region. So exporters in Malaysia to China. So this is actually a good time for you to show the increase, actually to attribute to the numbers shows by SWIFT. But again, I will show you how does it works as what Mr. Sugianto explained just now. Okay, Renminbi as the suitable options. There are a lot of the reason why Renminbi should be considered. Just now, several of the panelists mentioned clearly on the good reason why Renminbi should be traded. So, Bank Negara, Malaysia, appoint Bank of China, Kuala Lumpur to be regional Renminbi clearing house. It will help. Maybank, we have also our clearing arrangement with our branch in Shanghai. And about 20% of Malaysia palm oil shipment goes to China, which is everybody is in this room contribute to this number. But it is, the number shows is the transaction is in dollar. But now, as per our topic today, is to promote more trade transaction in renminbi. So, Bank Negara and the People's Bank of China, yes, as mentioned earlier by Encik Nazrin, has signed an agreement to renew the currency swap arrangement for further terms of 3 years. And palm oil export is basically key contributor to Malaysia economy. These numbers, which is these three elements, which makes that most of the exporters here might agree to choose renminbi if there's a bank, or there's a way to facilitate their exports. So with these three elements, Maybank basically has introduced renminbi trade settlement services in Malaysia and as well as the selected regional office. We facilitate both exporter and importers to issue a letter of credit, to issue standby letter of credit, to issue any guarantees for their purchase from China, and to facilitate their export to China, which is LC negotiation and discounting. This is what our friend from BOC missed just now. BOC have 11 clearing settlement, which is recently in Malaysia, which is because I would like to try to explain to the exporters, there's a way for us in Malaysia, exporters in Malaysia, to trade with China in renminbi by using the presence of Bank of China in Malaysia. The case study shared by Mr. Sugianto just now is on 180 days credit terms transact between the exporters in Malaysia and buyers in China. For my case, we do 365 days earlier. So just now, audience, you will have to guess what just Mrs. Sugianto mentioned. So this is the flow, basically. The importer will approach the bank in China to issue the letter of credit in renminbi. But again, it must be agreed that between exporter and importer, they must agree on the terms that there will issues on financing costs. If the buyer agree to absorb some portion of the cost, then this flow will happen successfully. In our earlier experience, the buyers, importers and exporters come to a point that they have a longer credit term, more than 180 days, which is 365 days. The buyer requests the exporter to extend 365 days credit terms to them in China. So the importer approached the bank in China to issue renminbi letter of credit with a usance tenure of 365 days. And the LC been advised to us, and then we further advised the LC to the exporter. Once the exporter received the letter of credit, so they will do the shipment direct to the importer, and after that, they present shipping documents in renminbi and request Maybank to negotiate it in ringgit Malaysia. So it is 365 days usance tenor, and we have to do some calculation and advise both exporter and importer that there will be a cost elements involved. During that time, Bank Negara give some good pricing elements when we lend renminbi locally. So these financing costs will be discussed between the buyer and the exporters. So how many percentage that the buyer agreed to absorb and how many percentage that the exporter agree to absorb. So once the exporter complete the cycle of shipment, present the documents to Maybank, we check the documents, comply, and we immediately credit in the exporter's account in ringgit Malaysia. And for that, we submit the document for acceptance to the issuing bank, and the issuing banks will honor the payment at maturity. So this is the flow that we think in Maybank might be suitable for the exporters in this room. So Maybank will become the bank to discount and negotiate the letter of credit. But due to current situations on the devaluation of Renminbi, so there will be some pricing elements concerned here. So that's why my second options to exporter in Malaysia is that working with this Bank of China. Okay. In previous slides, I showed before, just now, on the step 1, once the exporter ships the document, ship the shipment to importer in China, they present the documents to Maybank in Renminbi. So if in my previous slide shows that when they present on Monday, then I will pay them on Wednesday, for example. In this case, Maybank only become the presenting bank. So the LC actually been issued in such manner that bank in China will appoint a bank in Malaysia, which is I choose Bank of China, due to the appointment as the Renminbi settlement in Malaysia. They appoint Bank of China to effect payment at immediate basis, which is this flow normally quite famous for trade transaction between Malaysia and India, Malaysia and Indonesia. In Indonesia, they call it as UPAS. Mr. Sugianto, is it right? So, you send LC payable aside. So, in this flow, we use the strength of Bank of China, and because when I check on the last 3 months, currencies between US dollar and ringgit and Renminbi and ringgit, the volatility of US dollar quite high. It's 21.38% as compared to Renminbi at 17.59%. So in this event, actually we try to tell exporter that receiving LC in Renminbi is as good as, I think it's as good as dollar. But then when I mention it's as good as dollar, it's too much, because the pricing cost element for dollar is significantly low as compared to Renminbi or even ringgit. But on the second option here, that in front of you, when Maybank receive shipping documents from the exporter, we present directly to the issuing bank in China. Then issuing bank will give authorization to Bank of China to effect payment at immediate basis. So at this point, Bank of China can opt, or we can request actually Bank of China or issuing bank to effect the payment in ringgit or in renminbi. So technically, the exporter in Malaysia will have an option. So if you request the issuing bank to effect the payment on renminbi, so their banker, in this case, for example, Maybank, will convert the renminbi to ringgit accordingly, based on the current rate, FX rate. Or we can request the issuing bank, demand Bank of China, request and authorize Bank of China to effect the payment at immediate basis in ringgit or in renminbi. So basically, when we mention, as per this topic, renminbi trade financing, tool of trade to enhance palm oil export to China. So this topic is quite tough actually, because to promote renminbi, and everybody will tell that US dollar is much more cheaper. But then again, at this situation, the buyers is in China. So it's a good market for China to pay their commitment on letter of credit in renminbi. Because if the LC in dollar, so they have to fork out more renminbi to buy dollar, since China is the biggest market, second biggest market for palm oil. I think renminbi should be considered as an option for the exporter in Malaysia. And this market is your market actually. So for this, the next slide, okay. The general concept for this trade transaction is that the buyer will only pay their obligation in renminbi, and exporter in Malaysia will get their proceed in ringgit or renminbi. But at the end of the day, they will get a ringgit arrangement with their banks from renminbi converted to ringgit. So with that, I thank you.